What's up, Amateur Lore here, and today we're looking at some college football stadiums that I personally find underrated. Some are from the Power 4 conferences, gosh that sounds weird saying, and others are lesser known group of 5 stadiums. Oh yeah, also stadiums to me are like how men view women. We all have a type we favor, so just cause I like something doesn't mean you will, but that's okay. Let's talk about it in the comments because that's what I made this channel for, college football discourse. With all that filler out the way though, like, sub, and let's hop into the video. First up we have Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field, home of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Where do we start with this gem of a stadium? Well, to begin, I really like how seamlessly the stadium blends into the Georgia Tech campus, and while the stadium is on the smaller side, holding around 51,000, it's not for nothing as it allows for one of the best, or probably the best view of a city skyline you'll find in college football, as the view of downtown Atlanta from the stadium is amazing. This is one of the few college football stadiums I've had the privilege of seeing in person, and trust me, it looks even better in person. I really need Georgia Tech to get competitive again, so I can see how the stadium looks with a rocking crowd. And I know this is random, but does anybody else miss when Georgia Tech was the best team in Georgia? As a Gator fan, I know I do. As for the best game I've seen here, we have to go back to 2009 when the Jackets outplayed the number 4 Hokies in a banger of a game.
And defense.
No panic in that defense. They made a play, and Ryan Williams trying to make a play. Ryan Williams, no panic. No one to stop him. Touchdown, Hokies.
Only fourth down territory for Georgia Tech.
Nesbitt keeps it, and he's got the first down. He's thinking about 6. Nesbitt, no way to stop him. Touchdown.
Okay, for my next underrated stadium, let's go from the ACC to one of my favorite group of 5 conferences, the MAC, and take a look at, I'm going to butcher this name, but Scheumann Stadium, home of the Ball State Cardinals. So if you thought the last stadium I mentioned was small, then you're going to think this stadium is microscopic, as it only holds around 22,000. While that is nothing compared to a lot of Power 5 programs, I think this field makes the best of its situation. Like for instance, the surrounding greenery is beautiful, and the entrance to the stadium is really cool to me. It reminds me of a bigger version of my high school stadium's entrance. And now that I'm saying it out loud, this stadium looks like a really nice high school football stadium, and I mean that in the nicest way. Also, I love the grassy knoll at the end of one of the end zones. More fields need grassy knolls if you ask me. For the best game I've seen played here, we have to go all the way back to when I was a child and my college football addiction was just beginning in 2009, when the 15th ranked Ball State Cardinals hosted Western Michigan in a late night action game.
Yet again up by 7. The fake to Lewis. Davis steps up in the pocket, makes a throw on a rope. Man wide open, cut back, touchdown, Cardinals. Lewis stays on his feet, touchdown, Ball State.
Alright, next up we have Boone Pickens Stadium, home of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And before I start glazing this amazing complex, I'm just going to say the Big 12 might have some of the best stadiums top to bottom in all of college football, especially since the conference just added Colorado, BYU, and Utah. Okay, I'm done with that rant. Back to Boone Pickens. Anyway, I was kind of shocked to find out that it only holds around 54,000, as during game day it always looks like there's way more fans there. That might just be because the seats are so close to the field. The horseshoe design with the giant scoreboard attached to the athletic building makes the stadium look like a giant movie theater to me. It's super sick. And to finish this glaze up, I have to mention the brick exterior. It looks so good and gives the stadium a pristine feel to it, and lets people entering know they're walking into a college football cathedral. As for the biggest game I remember watching here, it was in 2011 when the BCS was still a thing, and the Pokes put the beats on their biggest rival Oklahoma trying to impress the voters.
Loves the game. Very familiar to him, like working with NFL quarterbacks.
Landry Jones fanned one, lost the handle. Oklahoma State, if it's not a pass, it's a touchdown. Rachetti Jones, and it looks like it indeed is another. For Todd Blackley, Tyler Rowe, and our crew in Stillwater, when it's all Cowboys right now here in the third quarter. And here's Smith breaking free again and scoring again. Touchdown.
I'm super excited to talk about this next stadium. Next up, we got Brewer Stadium, home of the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Now, I know something you might notice right off the back in this drone view shot of the stadium is the amazing forest of trees and the views of the mountains surrounding the stadium. There honestly isn't quite anything like it. And when the season turns to fall, you get one of the prettiest scenes in all of college football. This stadium is honestly one that I really want to visit in my lifetime. Oh, I just realized I was so mesmerized by the view I forgot to mention the capacity of the stadium. And this might shock you, but this stadium actually holds around 40,000. I know it shocked me because the stadium looks way smaller to me. As for the best game I've seen here, that would have to be in 2019 when App State hosted the Ragin' Cajun and beat them in a shootout to clinch the conference title.
Football, I think that's exceptional. Good third down numbers. They'll try to get it on the screen. Dump down to Evans. He's got some real estate. He finds the sideline. Goodbye, Eli's poker chip is pretty much worn out. And they are wearing out this Louisiana D
by Louisiana.
Second down. And it's intercepted. Josh Thomas. Nobody's going to touch him as he goes to...
The next underrated stadium in this video is Allegacy Federal Credit Union Stadium. And I just have to put this out there, I hate this stadium name. It's too corporate. Anyway, this field is home to the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And if you thought the last stadium was small, then I don't know what to tell you. I was going to say the microscopic thing again, but halfway through the recording I realized I already said that joke. Please don't unsub. But anyways, this stadium holds around 32,000, which makes it the smallest stadium in the ACC, and it's not even close. When it comes to the actual design of the stadium, it's very simple, as it's just two walls of seats on both sides. For a school like Wake Forest, it really fits the vibe. And when they're good, the stadium can get rocking. This is random, but I had to mention it. I remember my friend saying Lee Corso looks like the Demon Deacons logo, and now I can't unsee it. For the best game I've seen here, we have to go to the year 2022 when the Deacons hosted 5th ranked Clemson in a double overtime thriller.
Little linebacker now. Huge play. Hartman throws to a wide open receiver for a touchdown. Nobody near A.T. Perry. A bust. Uyunglele lofts it up for Collins. Touchdown, Cleveland. Faked it to Shipley. He throws to the end zone. Caught.
Not going to get beat in man-to-man.
Hartman throws it into double coverage.
Next up, we have Yulman Stadium, home of the Tulane Green Wave. This stadium is extremely new. It's like a newborn baby in college football stadium years, as Tulane played its first game here in 2014. And it's not hard to tell because looking at this stadium, it just screams modern sports venue. I'm not saying that's a bad thing though, because I think for the Green Wave it fits extremely well. And excuse my language, but those chairback green seats are sexy. And I love how they reduced the capacity to around 30,000, because let's be real, them playing in the Caesars Superdome was not a good look. There was no way the Green Wave would have ever sold that out. And it makes their home games actually feel like home games now. Also, shout out to MVOS. I watch his content and homie loves the Tulane Green Wave, and he really put me onto this stadium. So yeah, and for the best game I've seen here, let's go to the year 2022 when Tulane would take on UCF in the AAC championship game.
Still sensational after all these years. It was 30 years since Jimmy B. passed.
Pratt downfield. Deuce Watts. Goodbye.
73 yards, and that may have put this one away early in the fourth.
So who would have guessed before the video started there would be two teams from Oklahoma on here? If I'm being honest, I did not expect to have two teams from the Sooner State in this video, but since we're speaking about Sooners, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners jaw-dropping field, Gaylord Stadium. Grow up. Yeah, I'm talking to you back there. As I was saying, this field is jaw-dropping, as when they sell out all 86,000 of their seats, there are not many venues that can compare. I really love how they do the stripes in the stadium, of some sections having fans wear white and others wearing red. I know a lot of college teams do that with their fans, but I think the Sooners do it the best. Let's move to the outside of the venue though. The brick exterior is marvelous and blends in with the surrounding campus buildings so well. I really hope they don't add any more seats, because I really like how the design is now, with there only being 2 upper decks and a lower bowl. At the end of the day, some might not find the stadium underrated, but I do. As for the best game I've seen here, let's go to 2017 when Baker Mayfield and the 5th ranked Sooners hosted the 6th ranked TCU Horned Frogs.
Mayfield in the end zone. Oh, what a catch! Second down and 11. Mayfield lines up over the middle. Anderson. Touchdown Sooners.
Alright, another stadium that I think is underrated is Michie Stadium, home of the Army Black Knights. Now, I know a lot of people who actually care about stadiums will probably be like, everyone knows about this stadium, which is true somewhat. But when it comes to casual college football fans, I'd bet the Gators' chance of having a successful football season this year. I'm a huge Gators fan, by the way, so this is very serious, that the average fan does not know about this gem of a stadium. Holding around 43,000, this stadium is a decent size, but we all know what really makes this football field stand out from the rest. And I'm not talking about the bleachers. Even though I will say the bleachers are not half bad, they actually look really good. But the main attraction of this stadium besides the football team is the view of the Hudson River and the amazing greenery surrounding the field. How do the teenagers say? It just gives the field so much aura. This is another stadium I really want to see in person. I just feel like catching a game here would be such a vibe. The best game I've seen here would have to be in 2021 when Air Force traveled to West Point in an OT thriller for service school standards.
3 receivers in on the play. Young, the one back in the backfield. Ragland rolling to his right, looking left, pocket collapsing. They get to him, and he goes down to the 20-yard line. Somehow flips the ball over to Young. Young cuts back inside the 10. He's tackled at the 3, and Army wins the game. Double overtime, 31-30.
Next up, we have a stadium that I don't really hear getting talked about that much. Kenan Memorial Stadium, home of the North Carolina Tar Heels. You see those Tar Heel blue seats, right? That probably has to be my favorite feature of the stadium. It just makes the stadium pop that much more. And I know there are a lot of teams in college football with colored seats, but I think the Tar Heels might have my favorite iteration of it. Tar Heel Field isn't that big, it only holds around 50,000, but I think it's perfect for the North Carolina program. I'm also really in love with the trees that surround the stadium and how seamlessly the stadium blends in with the campus. As for the best game I've seen played here, we have to go back to 2021 when the Tar Heels upset 9th ranked Wake Forest in a shootout where over 100 points were scored.
Heisman Trophy candidate at Michigan State. Pressure off the corner. Hartman to the end zone. A one-handed catch. Something that we've talked about all day long is indicative of a well-coached team. They don't turn it over. They don't commit penalties. They have a man wide open. They have beautiful play design. Perry stumbled a bit. Will they catch him? He dives for offense for Howell. 6 more than Williams. Already the all-time passing yardage leader. Trying to throw a touchdown pass, and he does. Antoine Green the catch.
It was a big moment.
Penalty takes him back to the 50. Chandler breaking tackles. What a game for Ty Chandler. Into the end zone for the